G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode I'm just going to be doing a bit of an update, tell you guys what I'm up to with the cars and explain a little bit about what sort of direction I'm heading in, and also see if we can get a bit of feedback from you guys. So stick around, hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, I thought I'd just sort of talk to you guys about what I'm doing with these cars and just sort of explain a little bit about what's going on. Now, I know a lot of you guys actually subscribe to the channel and you tune in for the coupe build, which is basically the build of my life, my dream coupe. The thing is, with the coupe, I just wanted to explain that the reason there hasn't been much getting done on the coupe is because I did all the major modifications and I got this thing ready for torsion beam testing, which has to be done through an engineer before I can go and do any more on it. The thing is, the car is basically waiting in line. There's quite a long queue. The engineer's extremely busy, and so that's where I'm at. I'm basically in a holding pattern waiting until we can get it over to him. So as you would have seen already, I mean, I've been playing around with the bonnet hinging system and all the rest of it. I don't know if I mentioned the boot in the last episode, but I did. So anyway, I've been playing around with these struts because the hard thing was I was doing a lot of guesswork. It's not like there was a manual written for how to put gas struts on an XB coupe boot. So I just sort of did it my way, and initially I had struts that were too soft. I wouldn't lift the boot. Then I had some that were too strong, you literally couldn't close the boot. So what I've ended up settling on is these ones, which are actually quite good. And you bring it down, and the thing with the ones that were too strong, they were like 500 Newton meters of torque or something. They had so much pressure the boot would actually sit up. These ones, the boot's sitting exactly where you want it. And it takes a little bit of pressure to push it down, but there's enough, just enough, you know, to keep the boot up, to lift the boot and to hold it up. So if you guys are interested in doing this with your own car, XA, XB or XC, you're going to have to figure out your own mounting system and everything. But I mean, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Maybe we can show it. Can you see up there? I've just got basically a bracket mounted on top of the tub, and yeah, connected back to the original hinge part. Now I may change that because I don't know if I could actually make that a little bit more concealed, but for the time being that's what we've got. The reason why I wasn't too worried about that is because eventually when this boot is upholstered, well, sorry, one step before that, I'm going to have a fuel tank up here. So the fuel tank's going to probably come right up almost to the edge of the boot opening. And so probably this is all going to be covered in upholstery. So I'm probably going to come up here and then angle in or something like that. I don't know. So what I'm saying is I don't know if it'll really matter how it's mounted. But if you guys want to put your own gas struts on, I'd highly recommend you look for some struts that are 450 mil long and 350 Newton meters of torque. If you get 350 Newton meters of torque, 450 long, you should be pretty right, and you'll be able to get something that opens and closes just like that. So, as I say, there's really not much more that I can do on the coupe. As I say, we've got to get it to torsion beam testing. So, I mean, somebody said to me the other day, when are you going to finish the coupe instead of chopping and changing? Well, I'm not chopping and changing on purpose. It's just there's really not much to do on the coupe. So I've got other projects I need to get on with, and rather than, you know, not doing a video for 6 months, I thought, well, you know, I'll just film other stuff. So anyway, the other projects are, of course, the Chevy, which I can't wait to get out of this orange paint. What we've got to do here is we've got to change the quarter panels and then hang some new doors. I've got new doors and quarters for this car. So that's something that's going to be happening next. We've got the Nissan, and just to update you guys on the Nissan, I've just been doing you know, body repairs and I'm just getting it prepped so I can just repaint all around the T-tops here. We've taken the windscreen out because the windscreen had a crack in it, so I'm just going to get that painted. I don't know if I'm going to paint the whole car. Really, I'd probably prefer not to. I'd probably just, you know, paint these top panels, because you've basically got a dividing line here anyway. So I think we'll paint the hatch, the T-tops, and maybe the pillars, and then on the passenger side I'll see if I'm able to blend the passenger door, because I've got a repair on the front of it. And then we've got the front bar, which needs painting obviously, so I'm going to be probably jumping onto that next. And so I've got the coupe all ready to push out of the way. We'll put the Nissan up in front of the in front of that open face spray booth, and we'll do our touch-ups there. And then of course, as you know, we've got the chassis of the 57 sitting here. Actually, we may as well have a look at that as well. We had this issue with the you know, with the extractors. So this this mount here, I actually was thinking this was, you know, I'd forgotten what I'd done. I thought this was part of the original Chevy chassis, but it's not. That mount came with this strengthening kit. It's actually joined onto that. What was originally here on the Chevy was a big mount that went through there, which I think was a gearbox mount, and I think it did actually have a bolt that went up through the floor pan. Now whether I need that or not, I don't know, because these are actually technically the body mounts on the outside and then some of them on the inside. So as you can see, this extractor is fouling up on that mount, so I've got one of two choices: either cut this extractor off and try to move the collector forward and then do a bend in it, or cut the mount off, but I'm still going, even if I cut the mount off, I'm still going to have to do a bend. So, you know, go ahead and leave your comments on what you think we should do. But I probably what I'd prefer to do is just cut the mount, do both, cut the mount off and move the collector forward a little bit and then do a bend on it. Currently this is coming out into a 3.5 inch collector, which when I cut it off, that's basically what I cut off. So I mean, I called the guys that make these things Castle, what are they, Castle headers? Yeah, Castle headers. And they said that there could be a slight drop in performance, but they didn't think it would be very much. So I'm not really too worried about that. We've got a decent amount of power, and I'm thinking of running either 2.5 or 3 inch pipes. I prefer to run 3 inch pipes, but the one concern I've got is getting up over the forelink, over the diff. In this case. So I mean, I did it on the John Gosson 3 inch, so I suppose, you know, you put your mind to it, you can work it out. But yeah, so that's pretty much where we're at with that one. Just a little bit of a problem, but we'll work it out. And then we've got the four-door. So what I was going to say to you guys is, you know, put a comment down below, let us know what you think. One thing's for sure is I have to finish off that Nissan. So in the next week or so, I'm probably just going to be doing those touch-ups and getting the windscreen put in, and then I'll be putting it on the market. I wanted to do the touch-up so it was all one colour when I sold it. It is a project. It's still going to need a bit more work to do on it before it's probably put on the road. But I'd just like to take it to a stage where it's at a good stage for somebody else to take over, if you know what I mean. At least, you know, all the hard stuff is done, and then if they wanted to get the seats recovered or something, they could. But so that's definitely going to be my next thing to jump onto, just to get it out of the way, to get it out of the workshop. But then we're going to have a choice of, you know, what I'm working on. I've got the Chevy or I've got the four-door. Now I know that I've got guys that like Chevs that tune in for that only, and then we've obviously got the Ford fans, because the channel did start as Fat Fords. It did start with the coupe. So let us know in the comments what you want to see next. What do you want to see us get onto? You want to see us get more done on the Chevy or get more done on this four-door? So be really interested to hear what you guys have to say. And in the meantime, I'm going to leave it here for now, and we'll catch you up in the next episode.